Shabbos Daf Chavav. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. And let's daven one for another. You're not permitted to use tsari, which is balsam oil, for Ner Shabbos. Since it smells so wonderful, one might come to remove some of the oil and try to use it somewhere else. And that is the Isser of Mechaba. He's causing the flame to extinguish earlier than it was supposed to. And another reason is because balsam oil is very flammable and it might burn the house down. The Gemara tells us one of the craziest stories in Shas. There was a mother-in-law who hated her daughter-in-law so much so that she convinced her to use this balsam oil. It smells really good, she tells her. So she sprayed it on herself. Then she tells the daughter-in-law, hey, I need this candle. Could you please light the candle? And she went up in flames. Nuvuzardan, the Torah tells us that he sent all of Klal Yisrael to Golos, besides the Karmim and the Yoigvim. Karmim, says Rav Yosef, are those who know how to harvest Afar Samoy. And they were able to harvest it from Ein Gedi all the way to Ramasa. Yoigvim are those who know how to trap the Chilazayin, the snail that makes Tchelas, from Sulamois Tzur till Chayfa. We cannot use white neft, even in the weekdays, because it's so flammable, it's dangerous, and certainly not on Shabbos. We can't use oil that's tevel. In other words, from fruit that you didn't remove trumas and maisrus. You can't use it not in the weekday, and certainly not on Shabbos. How do we know this? Because the pasuk says mishmeres trumoisai, as we had yesterday. Trumoisai is plural. Two trumas, tar truma and tamei truma. And just like in tar truma, you can't use any of the fruit until you mafresh the truma. If it's tevel, it's aser. So too, if the truma is tamei, tevel is also aser. There are some who are more machmer than our Mishnah. Reb Shimon Elazar says you cannot use tsari, as we had before, which is balsam oil. Rabbi Shmuel says you can't use any oil that comes out of a tree. Rabbi Shmuel ben Beroka says only that oil that comes from fruit. And Rabbi Tarfon says you could only use shemen zayis. Says Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, he got up and he was upset. He said, if so, people in Bavel who only have sesame seed oil, how can they light candles on Shabbos? In Modeh they only have nut oil. In Alexandria they only have radish oil. In Kapoitikyo they only have kerosene. Just the halacha is everything that it says in the Mishnah that is aser. Those are the only oils that are aser. The rest are mutter. But the oil of fish, according to Rashi, the innards made from the innards of fish, according to Taisus, the oil from the eye of a fish, and itron, which is from pitch, that is mutter. Comes Sumchas and says all oil that comes from the flesh of an animal, meaning from chayla, from fat, you cannot light, but you could use the oil of a fish. Now, what is the difference between Sumchas and the Tanna Kama? They're seemingly saying the same thing, says the Gemara, as we had earlier, Nafkamin and Rav Broina, but over here it means slightly different. In other words, according to one of the two Tanoim, we don't know which one, chaylev, fat, is mutter if you add olive oil to it. And fish innards are mutter even without adding olive oil. But according to the second Mandorma, we take it down one step. Chaylev is never mutter, even if you add olive oil, and fish innards are only mutter if you add olive oil. And then Reb Shimon Shizuri says, and we're not clear why and how he adds anything, he says, pakuois, which is calcineth, and neft, which is kerosene, is mutter. And now the sugya of Tumah. We're going back to a sugya of Tumah, and I'll make it very simple. When it comes to the Tumah of Negayim, first let's talk about the size of the cloth, and then we'll talk about what it's made out of. Even Shesi Ve'eriv, in other words, a string that you are about to make a cloth, and it's as long that you can make a 3x3 finger breadth cloth, that's Mikabel Tumah. Certainly, a 3x3 tfachim cloth, which is appropriate even for rich people, as a beged, as a fabric, is Mikabel Tumah. 3x3 finger breadths of a beged is a Shesi Ve'eriv. Now, the Torah says by Negayim, the word beged, and the Torah explains it's made out of tzemer upishtim, either wool or linen. So now we know that anywhere in the Torah that it says the word beged, And it says it many times, by tzitzis, by tumas meis, by sheretz, by shechvazera. We know in all these places, the Torah is referring to tzemer or pishtim. But what about other clothing? So we know that by tzemer or pishtim, no matter what size it is, even a string or 3x3 fingers and certainly 3x3 tefachim is mekabel tumah. What about other clothing? According to Abaya, other clothing are not mekabel tumah at all, any size, anywhere. Everybody agrees to that. Reb Shimon ben Elazar and Reb Shmuel. But according to Rava, yes, Reb Shimon ben Elazar says other clothing are not mekabel tumah in all sizes. However, Rabbi Shmuel holds that when it's 3x3 tefachim, then other clothing, not tzemer or pishtim, in other tumais are mekabel tumah. Have a wonderful day.